So she did do that kind of stuff against Cash at the final days.
Theodora is a woman bound, forced to do all these things that she never wanted. What she really wants is freedom, that she can never ever have as a devil. And so she takes it out on everybody else. She gets a lot of pleasure out from making people suffer. And that's the small happiness she can have in her current situation. The situation she's bound to suffer for eternity.
What did Mithra say to Zacharias before dying? We will never know. We will never know.
That would be one of the great mysteries.
Beyond the epilogue, you can decide in your version of the future.
You see 3 choices before you.
We're going to change the color of this.
Yes, exactly. We're gonna call it the
cycle,
choices.
What must be broken? Zacharias, you have finally reached this point.
How big is Zacharias'
Will
Devil
destroy
Plane?
us and all gods.
The Devil Plane, it grows with the years. It will be absolutely massive. Absolutely massive.
Even if it's only 1 casting per year, after your 500 years, that would be
a massive amount of nothing.
Yep. Well, it's a stormy ocean with the devil and horrible bunyips and like krakens and stuff in it.
I will say, in my mind, I looked at that as like, I've used that before. It was the lair for an archvillain. I like it.
Zacharias ever meet the following: Orcus, Geb, Harlot Queen, Whispering Tyrant, Assessarak. Well, Assessarak is from another setting, so no. Orcus, I'm not sure Orcus is in Pathfinder, but normally.
No rules. He's technically part of it, but not the same power level as he is in the other settings.
Right. Geb, yeah, sure. Zacharias would definitely have gotten to Geb. The Harlot Queen, yep. I took a sneak peek at her stat block, and Zacharias could totally just crush her completely if he wanted to.
It's only not the raw power that you want.
The Whispering Tyrant, well, Tarbafon is still shackled in Gallows Spire. Breaking him out might be fun. Might be something Zacharias does down the line if he needs even more power and powerful allies. Voidsen, the student, is doing great. He is a happy skeleton. I think I even made a token for him that never got used.
Skeletal mage.
Skeletal mage, yeah.
Well, I feel sorry for him. Seriously, it's just the worst to join your organization. You become a devil or you die.
The student's name is something else we'll never know.
Yeah, you will
never knew.
The biggest mystery.
The biggest mystery. It's almost as big as the keep that Marcus was building that we never saw.
Keep of 1,000 million rooms.
Yeah, biggest thing ever.
Oh dear.
If he wants something in the basement, it's there. Like a pudding bath, it's there.
It's
a
like
room
the
with a
room
million
of
pillows there,
requirement
like the
in
giraffe zoo. There is a giraffe zoo.
You have a giraffe zoo?
It's like,
alright, so
what doesn't he have? All these actions to spend building onto the keep.
The next question was, what do Azurius and Marcus think when they learn that Zacharias killed Mithra, as well as Cash, Salamonis, and Chiron?
You know, Azurius would have been exceptionally pleased. Actually, would have taken a step back from his manipulation of the world, gone to his demi-plane, considered, and possibly tried scrying upon Zacharias and send him a message.
You could certainly use a sending on Zacharias. It's possible.
Mm-hmm. You would have got basically a congratulatory message, and possibly a small idol appearing of your old self.
Yes.
You know, congratulations, you have done the impossible. Or what was once impossible.
The impossible has always been my business.
Well, I suppose Cash would be happy about it, but she wouldn't contact any of you just to,
We wouldn't be meeting face to face, I'll say that now.
That would just be an invitation for them to pry.
Yeah, those bastards. Just can't leave me alone.
I mean, she kind of knows they're all assholes.
Yeah.
So...
And she knows how they treat others. So yeah, you're not gonna be. Hello. But sure, it is nice. She doesn't have to think about annoying angels with horns and hammers. Which is pretty sweet.
What does Marcus think of the death of Mithra? Cool. Great. Good work.
Oh, cool. No, he's just
Thumbs
like
up.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Send him a fun
Like,
song.
awesome.
I think Telemonus and Chiron would probably be too busy waging war against each other to even really realize that happened.
Actually, by this
Find
point,
the
because he
sexy
killed
lady.
Mithra like 500 years later, that fight might already be over.
That's true.
You know, it might not be.
It's true. Who knows?
Cash has so many babies that she's just like, yeah, that's cool. Can you leave me alone? The babies to take care of.
Malorn has asked several times about the princess's staff. I don't know what that's about. That's probably
Neither
something-
do I.
Okay.
It's
Liars.
I know one of the main reasons, which on the cover for book 6, you see the princess wielding a seemingly exceptionally powerful stave.
You took it, don't you remember?
Maybe. I'm not sure exactly what happened to it.
You don't have to hide it anymore.
Who knows what happened, right?
Let me take a look.
Who knows?
Jonas took her
Maybe,
staff.
maybe the staff. I'm not saying that the staff was a splinter of Mithra that could be used as a key to get into Mithra's divine realm. I'm not saying that.
Oh my god, is
That's-
she that stupid?
And then there's Grimmeth asking Team PC, who was your favorite villain and why was it Bookshelf Santa?
It was not Bookshelf Santa,
was
actually.
not
My
Bookshelf
favorite
Santa.
villain was Blue Horse.
Blue Horse. Blue Horse was a really good villain. Only met him one session, but man, what an impression! What a strong appearance of a villain. Poking his head through a door, killing Cash, and then having Kyron screaming, running through the high tire horn, screaming about Blue Horse.
He captured my heart. That's it.
What the hell was the deal with Blue Horse? I don't think we asked that yet.
He was the vaporized remains of a huddled bunch of cultists who were burned together into one clump of ash in a room. They were sooner cleared
Wait,
out,
who?
but they certainly of death cultists when he was attacked. Also,
When
the
the
staff was
victor-
a staff of power, which gives you luck bonuses to AC and saving throws, and can cast spells to do triple damage on a crit and do other sorts of shenanigans. It's a very powerful staff, yeah. But it simply is those remains, and they are remains that hate everything, and all they want is to be assholes and monsters to everybody.
They certainly
It-
accomplished their
His
goals.
stat block is that he should be as much a pain in the ass as he possibly can be, and he doesn't really care if he dies doing it, because he comes back every year for one night.
Who are you
So
talking
if you don't deal with him, he'll be back he'll be gone the next morning. And the night they died, they basically haunt the place in this form of an ashen nightmare.
The Blue
So,
Horse, Jake.
Oh, okay.
so he's back now.
Yeah, probably.
In hell somewhere.
Haunting a smashed rock in hell.
I
That place has not become nicer.
I really liked Bookshelf Santa. He was great. I think Jake's picture of him was that what really drove him home. He looked so incredibly cuddly and just so friendly, and then he was this
Yeah.
death machine. Yeah,
Let me see if I can find a picture
What
somewhere. I might
a
have it.
cleric with access to 8-level spells can do.
I'll say.
And if
favorite-
action economy got him.
My favorite villain.
I think I also have a special
Thorn.
place for Erymanthus.
I didn't really know.
I
It would have
liked
been
him.
nice to talk to him. He was
Yeah,
so nice
he-
and talkative.
yeah.
You're kind of buffed up though, and you were like, if we talk to him now, we're gonna waste our buffs. So let's just kill him.
Oh, what was it with that silver
You
dragon?
could have visited him and talked to him and been nice to him, and he would have.
That is such an
Between the
adventure
year and-
party thing to do, though.
What about that
Our
silver
buffs are
dragon
running.
that attacked us?
Yes, what about him?
Who was he?
Oh yeah, what was his
He
deal?
was one of Antharia's children. He was very young and brave and thought too much of himself.
Were there any other like silver dragons anywhere? Because it seemed like there were
Not
only
a
two.
tribe, no.
So
Okay.
could we have turned him, used him, or something like that?
No,
Fish
probably
silver
not.
dragon, that would have been
He was-
awesome.
He was doomed to death, I think, for most part. Although, hopefully, it could have been done in a more glorious way then.
That was embarrassing, and he was turned into a skeleton.
Yeah.
What about that damn manticore? No, not manticore. What was it?
Chimera was hungry, and this was a place that he could eat.
That's it?
Yeah, it wasn't really that complicated. You could have talked to him and been like, we'll give you food, just stop. Like, oh, you will? You're like, yeah, just protect our place, we'll give you food. He's like, oh, I'll do that. and then they guarded your place.
There we go.
As long as you kept giving food. In the final battle, he would have left because he was like, well, this is gonna go to hell, so fuck this.
Literally.
Put the picture of
But
bookshelf.
Erymanthus had a lot of dialogue that you never got to see.
Yeah, I felt bad killing Erymanthus.
Yeah, me too. What dialogue did he have? You find some of it?
You know, it's funny. I live right off the island of Leahcard, but I haven't visited in 200 years. Tell me, how's the old isle going? The dragon listens great interest to the news. She's legitimately fascinated with the comings and goings of the short-lived races. If the PCs are clever, they use this exchange to learn a thing or two about Erymanthus. If anyone asks him, the last time he was in Leahcard, oh, I was summoned to the north by my dear Antharia. Now there's a beauty I haven't seen for too long. Almost 80 foot of pure silver elegance. It was, of course, about the little problem with the tomb of the nameless tyrant. The less said about that ugly affair, the better. That's already some description of what you're going to find in his basement. Oh.
I really liked him.
You have the Codex of Bartimus the Stargazer. He gets ecstatic. Amazing! Such revelations! And then he will actually help you do stuff, if you have that.
It's cool.
Well,
I mean,
he-
I enjoyed just walking up and murdering him for backstory reasons.
But yeah, I think the best villain was probably Thorn, because he was there so long and he was plotting against us, and like coming to realize that he's actually plotting against you. That was very exciting, and actually going there and finally putting an end to him was.
But he made our rooms and he put name tags on them.
Yeah, no, so sad.
Yeah. Why did he even do that? It's so weird.
They were old. They didn't seem to have been taken care of a long time, except by the undead servants who always go and clean everything.
But why did he have them there if he tended to kill us?
Maybe he didn't intend to kill you originally.
Was there any way for us to actually stick with Thorn?
I would have made one if that was really the party desire. But base campaign, no.
Okay.
I wanted
One
to.
had to go. Again, the campaign assumes the villains are true villains, and they don't want anyone above them.
That's true.
The same with the book 6. It assumes that you're true villains and don't give a fuck about the normal people.
You know what?
Screw them.
I wanted to stick with Thorn, no pun intended.
Yeah, I think Manikai mentioned before that we could have just raised the taxes, and the book basically said, yeah, there's no repercussions because villains don't care about the normal people and they can't do anything.
People are very sad. Oh, boo-hoo.
Yeah.
Take some more money. This kingdom has no money at the beginning. Think about all the money you could have had if you'd just been like, fuck
And
the
those
people.
two freaking
What?
those damn dragon things we were gonna make.
Yeah, we never saw them.
Yeah, they never
completed.
finished because they were not done in time.
Sadly.
By the way, is Horace and King Golem? Yeah, my hellhound.
Oh, here's an interesting question.
They're in hell.
They can come back.
Nothing but Golem. He's stuck there.
Yeah, the guild was stuck there forever. Probably
Yeah.
destroyed.
No.
Andrew asks, so why did the first alchemical golem go insane and kill random people?
Because it had been seeping in energy from a basically unholy death temple, and so it was a golem in all respects, except it had a small bit of sentience, and that sentience had one desire, and that was to kill everything. And it was only so smart as to blame it on unknown enemies. That was the only thing. Whenever it did, it would lie. This very creepy lie, because a golem that can lie is creepy, but it was only able to lie about unknown enemies. It did not have the capacity to think of anything better. So that's what it would say. Even if it stood right now pummeling the guy's head in with its fist, it would all still say that it was an unknown enemy who had done it.
Dude, Drake was
And
right.
try to be completely honest about it.
Drake was like, I don't know, this is a pretty fucked up place. Maybe that's why. Maybe.
Same with the Ashen Nightmare, really. That place, if you stay around in it long enough, you become a cruel monster thing. Halthus himself completely fucking crazy. He murdered, like, completely mad, like, torturer. Because he had been a statue in that place for so long. Yeah.
Oh, I like Helphus though.
Yeah.
I'm happy that he's happy on Memphis Island,
Mhm.
eating octopus and shrimp and torturing and talking to stranded people.
Thank God you're here. I need your help. Oh, lay down.
Yes.
Rather
Like it's
help.
creeping
Yeah.
closer.
I just like that time
Hello.
I
Oh
asked
God. Oh no.
I asked for
He'd
giggles.
be like the imp in Dragon's Demand. Just take a seat on my spiky chair.
Yeah, like,
Please.
I love that guy.
and what I love with that one, not to get off on tangent, was that we closed the
Door,
door and
like-
talked, and he's like, I still hear you.
Just shut up.
We're like, we should just kill him, right?
It's great.
Right.
I really like that.
Sit on my chair? No. Oh
Oh, won't you please sit in the chair?
no.
No!
Only little spikes.
This is tiny, tiny little blood.
Little blood
What
contract.
was it he made one of you do? And I was like, no, don't do
Just
that.
sit on the damn chair he wanted.
Was
to.
it the chair?
Yeah, it
We
was.
sat on the
Yep.
chair.
But basically, the chairs would have done 1d4 points of damage, and had you all sit on one, he would have helped you. That's how it was supposed to go, but you decided to kill him instead.
Well, that's what he takes for being a.
Uh,
I mean, we kind of know too much about devil blood contracts to
mhm,
trust one.
mhm. And that Malachi's dwarf lady fell on her face in goop for
Yeah.
like
1,000 like a
20
million.
times or something.
That's a different campaign, guys.
That's a different campaign, that's true.
Focus.
Sorry.
What about Zacharias' familiar? Well, who knows? He he lives in Zacharias' pocket, or did live in there at least.
Well,
Now he's dead.
he was
Yeah, he's
declared dead a
He was
long
like,
time
Zacharias
ago.
made himself into a lich, and then, oh God, he's touching me all the time. He's basically been in catatonic shock,
Well,
constantly
Yeah.
zapped for like 3 years. And
Yeah, he's
he's
permanently
like this cool
paralyzed.
little monster thing who just only crawls out at night to pick it up, like remains of flesh from Zacharias' face that he eats.
you didn't have to say that.
Zacharias is
But,
fine with that.
But that's not true though, because long time ago, Jonas asked something about Dark Sting, and you said you hadn't used him in so long that I have declared him dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Is it-
Well,
but you said one day he was in your back pocket and you sat down and he died.
dead.
And now he crawls around like a small skeleton.
Gross. And now I just remember Thorn's feet. Thanks for that. That's something I'll never get out of my head. Thorn's feet.
I've seen worse.
They were cute feet.
They were so gross. They're filled with holes. Looked like barnacles were living in his feet.
I mean, they were burned, so.
True. Oh yeah. I have any of you heard his story?
Yeah, they all know it.
Which story?
Also that he didn't want to be a lich.
Which story?
You all know. Thorn was made into a lich by
Fawn.
Nabarus.
But he
for
didn't.
just phylactery.
What if the group let Zakharoth Fyrax conquer Talengard?
I wanted to do that.
And then there would have been a great. Well, he never wanted to do that himself. As well, he knew the plan from the beginning. He got to be a king, an emperor, for a year, and in return, he was supposed to lead all his people into the greatest disaster they had ever faced.
What
And
happened?
he understood that completely.
What happened to Fyrax?
He became only a fiendish monster ogre. No, not ogre. Bugbear, serving the forces of hell.
That's better than a maggot, I guess.
Malone is still asking, so what about Telmondus and Tiamat, or Chiron and Tiamat? I left that open very intentionally because...
What do you think?
I didn't want to kill off either of them. I'd like to imagine that hundreds of years later, they would have... Well, first of all, they would have met, they would have fought, they probably would have talked and taunted each other and said, oh, I know your plans, but I know your plans too. And then they would have fought, but nobody really would have won. And it would basically have developed into a a war between the two, with Chiron basically having himself and very quickly growing far stronger than Telemondus, but Telemondus on the other hand having the big advantage of having a lot of resources. They would have been basically equal in strength, and who knows who succeeds. Maybe they are fighting still to this day, being dragons that just live a long time. Maybe one of the other like big chromatic dragons has something to say to both of them, like the blue, green, and the white, I guess. Who knows?
The
I
white
didn't
is
want to
stupid
decide
though.
too much. The most likely outcome, the most likely outcome is that Chiron eventually falls in like this grand battle that will go down in history for in all the history books, and that Telemondus would have eventually won, which is really what they both want in the end. Telemondus wants to win, while Chiron just wants to do his thing, go down in history, never be forgotten.
Fight everything until he fights something that's too big.
Basically, yeah.
So what if we had forced the Fire Axe to do it? Well, if he had won, his horde would have conquered, destroyed Mathrin, then split up to conquer the Heartland and destroy Gaston Hall, which they would have eventually succeeded on, and then they would have split up, basically each clan moving to claim their new territory. There would no longer be a Talonguard. There would simply be a lot of different tribes no longer united. The only reason they followed the Fire Axe was because he could defeat Talonguard and had proven that he could win. After that, they would have no special loyalty to him. There was no more Talonguard to conquer. It would have been a barbaric state of slavery and different war chiefs vying for power. Probably with the Fire Axe having a good harem and a good clan of his own located in the ruins of Method or whatever piece he wanted of Talonguard. Of course, unable to take more than he could control by intimidating his underlings.
Well, if we had made him king, Dissider would still have been alive.
Yes, but not very happy.
Well, what does Dissider want to do?
You fucking messed up. You drowned your own army by sinking all the ships, and you were this buffoon king. I don't even.
we couldn't have done that to Destiny. Best to kill him, honestly. If then he don't have to live with the disappointment,
I think this campaign would have been very funny if we all played like chaotic evil ogres.
Something that might be fun that you wouldn't have. That you would have only seen in one way because Bigley wanted you to see it. By returning after defeating Havelin and the Angels, returning to Navarus to tell him, to report back to him basically, you would have gotten some. I would have let you see the special information, which is what was said between Havelin and Dessita. When Dessita died.
I want to know.
I want to know too.
It's not a lot, but there's some. There's a lot of this sort of hidden text of what did this person say to that person when they met. See here, Solon disobeying Belinda, going as her assassin, for example. He comes to her and says it, and she says, "We will not do such tactics. We will not lose our souls to win one battle, High Inquisitor." He then clenches his teeth and says, "You think you know these men, Highness, but you do not. You do not understand the depth of their wickedness." She says, "You would obey me." "No, Your Highness, I will not hire assassins. I will be your assassin." And then he try to follow through with his plan. Let's see here. Here we have Navarus. No. Here we have Sir Leahcard being visited by his mother. "My son, do you know me?" "Mother," he gasps almost instinctively, saying the first word he has ever spoken to her. "Mother, you're alive." "No, not alive. I died the night you were born. I was never there for you, and your father, so grim, so sad. He was never there either. He's with me now, and at last his tears are ended. I wish you could hear his laugh, Leahcard, just once." Suddenly, Berthar grew furious. What do you want from me, spirit? Are you here to tell me I'm wicked and wretched? Are you here to tell me that I should repent? It's too late for any of that. I have turned my back upon that future. I have failed my people so many times. Today I work only for the hell that I deserve. Rowan wept at her son's words. Then it is true. This is my fault, my son. I was the one who authored this calamity. I created the monster, Adrastus, and it was Adrastus Thorn who set all this in motion. I know that Samuel had feelings for me when I fell in love with your father. I gave no heed to the poor priest. I inflicted upon him the greatest sort of cruelty, pretending that there was nothing between us. Berthor snarled in answer. What does any of that matter now, mother? Father is dead. Samuel, Thorn, whatever you want to call him, he's dead. They're all dead. Am I to see them too? Are you here just the first spirit to torment me? No, my son, it is just me. You're right, you know. They are all dead. Today on a distant battlefield, your last cousin died, ambushing a caravan carrying supplies to feed the great army of evil that is about to march. You are, in all the world, the last son of Haviland. Our bloodline lives or died with you. We already have managed to create one monster, my son. Will you be one too? And a man once called Leahcard wept in shame and disgrace as his mother's shade faded from his vision, and then came a shadow into Leahcard's presence. Having a moment of doubt, are we, Sir Berthor? Seeing ghosts? These are just figments, my friend. Passing fancies that soon enough fade. Desita smiled. We all have our moments of weakness. Best not let your imagination run away with you. It was not my imagination, Berthor whispered. She was real, and what she said, it was true. You get so used to hearing the lies that when someone finally says something true, it just sounds... The contract devil lost his smile. You're becoming tiresome, Sir Berthor. Why don't you just get some sleep? Things will seem different in the morning. Sleep? No, I slept too much. Now night sounded almost in a daze. You sound very strange, my friend, said Desita impatiently. Let's be sensible about this. You have given your sacred word to our father, brave knight of hell. You signed the contract in blood. There's no turning back now. Yes, said Berthor. Perhaps you're right. Of course I am, said Berthor. The sword slid out of its scabbard in one smooth motion. He stabbed into the core of the contract devil in one great push. There was a great rush of energy with him. This was not the wave of unholy power that he could wield as an anti-paladin, no. This was the true smite of Mithra. The devil stumbled back, bleeding from the wound. Idiot! You think you can defy me? I own your soul! I got your name! You cannot oppose me! Again the paladin struck, and again another great wound striped across Desita's chest. For this offense I will have you suffer for 20 years with coals packed up your ass. Do it again and I'll make it 50. Damned knight! A third blow. Sir Berthor. Sir Berthor! Was all Desita managed. No, my name is Leahcard. And with that, the contract devil's head parted neatly from his corpse. Sir Leahcard watched the devil's corpse melt away before him. It was done. Now all that remained was for the forces of hell to come and claim his soul, and he swore he would make them earn it.
Dude, that was so weak.
Oh, poor Desiter.
What was he gonna put up his ass?
Coal.
Hot coal.
Ow! I hope he gets that.
This is a charming devil, and he has a temper. If you ever attack him or do something, he gets really, really annoyed and runs away. And he's really pissed, and he doesn't take shit from nobody. He just wants you to play nice like he does. And you were good at that.
He's a gentleman.
Yeah.
Why didn't he flee?
Stabbed.
Yeah, it was like in utter disbelief.
And it was like, what the hell? This guy, he's damned. He can't do this.
So, Grimmeth asks, our hobby of tabletop RP games can change us forever, leave impressions in our minds that will laugh about 10 years from now. In 2025, what do you think will be the most prominent in your mind when you think back on the Way of the Wicked?
That's a good question.
The time
Is it-
spent.
This is on the table.
Yes.
The titanic effort of it.
No, this is on the table. That was amazing.
In 10 years, I'll probably think, man, we've only completed one more campaign since then. Remember when times were so short?
Oh, level 50, mythic 20 characters.
There are a few moments
With
I
our
was thinking,
AI DM so we can all play.
that's right, we're hooked in with our brains to the internet at that point.
Sounds
Or
cool.
we live in space. I think, I don't know, it's hard to say, but I think some things that will stick with me from this is certainly just the party characters. You know, I think we put together a very good group, and we did a lot of fun stuff with it.
We did.
The Haviland fight will probably still remember, because it was just such a damn fight.
It was amazing. And when Jake went into that old guy, I was like, your wife is cheating on you. I loved that so much. Oh my god.
It was a good stunt.
It was
Many
amazing.
good moments.
was
Some of
amazing.
which, maybe not most of which, but some of which certainly would survive 10 years. And in general, I think it was just, an enjoyable 2 years. On the other hand, if Way of the Wicked is not in our mind anymore in 10 years, it means we've played something even better.
We've surpassed it.
Yeah, that would also be good.
I
all
think in
things
10 years
considered.
I'll look back to it and still be a little proud, probably, that I actually managed to pull a campaign from 1 to 20 all the way through. It's
my
nice.
God,
It's a
all
good thing,
of his
and I think I did well. I'm satisfied with how it turned out, even if there's things I could have done better. Retrospectively, it's the first time you run a campaign. It's pretty much always the situation you'll be in.
Yeah.
So you don't really have, and most people don't get the chance to watch someone else play it before they do. I think that is a great chance to see someone else do it. Because you're basically doing it halfway blind. But I've learned a lot of things from it. Probably more than I can sort of say now, but just in the way that. I pretty much got to know sheep, for example.
But
I got
That's-
sheep to visit as a result of this.
Yeah,
so,
I know, right?
So that's pretty sweet.
it's dish.
Ha
Just
ha!
I've done
wizard.
it. This is the third time I do it,
Yeah.
and this is the third time you notice it.
It just gets better.
I've done it twice, and no one said anything.
No, I think Keen will be leaving in half an hour, so let's get some more questions if there are more. I would like to see that there are no more questions to
I
ask.
have one question, because back then when Cash died, you gave me Raiju's character sheet, because I was gonna play him, but you removed some of his character sheet. You painted it
The
black.
tactics. Yes.
If he got
That
into
is
battle with
how,
us.
as an NPC, does he fight?
Yeah.
Why weren't I allowed to know that? Puppy eyes.
I don't know that. I'll find it for you.
There's a question from Degurkin. How did Deserter achieve devilhood? I got the implication Deserter originally, together with Sister Theodora, plunged a country into hell.
The book doesn't really have much on it. Anything, actually. But you can certainly imagine it's not something that I've given much thought, to be honest. The assumption be that they have worked with nappers for a long time, even though they don't really particularly like each other. They share a connection.
Andrew concludes that the real monster restorer was actually the Mithran Inquisition. Because if they didn't exist, they would not have created such hatred towards the church, basically.
Here comes a question then. The mad guy who wanted to who made the Inquisition, the Cellus. Whose whispers do you think it was that made him go and do the madness of trying to build a portal to hell and invade it? Was it Mithras? Or was it someone else whispering for him to start the Inquisition?
Deserter,
To corrupt the trade?
you clever old devil.
I fervently believe that was not Mithra's voice he heard, but
No.
that it was a long play. It's the beginning of a play. For example, you were in that way all created by the devils in order for them to have you as tools to bring down Mithra, to corrupt the image of the victor, and to corrupt the sort of the power base he had made by taking one of his heirs and making him this terrible wannabe angel who wanted to forcibly ascend.
I mean, the
Isn't that a very Hell thing to do?
Oh, definitely.
It's a very long-term play, which Hell would try.
I mean, the Inquisition basically created Zacharias.
Yeah, and if Hell created the Inquisition to hunt down the worshippers of Hell, well, you know,
it's it worked, but and also probably something Zacharias would never forgive Hell for.
And the victim, and maybe now he begins to realize that's how it worked.
Maybe, and
the
one day that rift in reality will open up to Hell, and there will be so much destruction.
So during combat, Raiju loves the thrill of battle and is eager to engage foe with his great sword, attacking with surprise from invisibility if possible. He also uses Cone of Cold to break up groups of enemies. If ever surrounded in grave danger, he's quick to use fly, invisibility, and gaseous form to escape. Morale. Raiju is never going to be a fanatic follower of our villains.